I don't know about you, but we've been cooking a lot more in this house in the last 3 months. That means we've been buying and storing and using up more food items and the things that you need to cook them with. And we've also been in this house a whole lot more, which means, well, it's lived in a little bit more. And as a result of that, we've done some reorganizing in the last month or so. In the last month, I reorganized the pantry and the spice shelf, and this morning we cleaned out the refrigerator again, a thorough cleaning. That's kind of how I do cleaning anyway. I'm not the most fastidious of housekeepers, but when things get to a certain point that I just can't stand it anymore, that's when I go about reorganizing and sometimes purging, figuring out what needs to be recycled and what needs just to be tossed out. And when I'm finished with this process, I generally will like to open the cabinet or open that closet and see some empty space and be able to see where everything is, and it just gives me a deep, satisfying feeling of peace. It gives my eyes a visual rest when there are some empty spaces in what I've just reorganized. Now, I've also spent some time in the last few months cleaning out the clutter from my spiritual and mental health practices. I now, for example, limit the time I watch the news in the morning and generally make a habit of at least part of that time being while I'm on the elliptical watching the news. I'm reading more for enjoyment and also reading to study more intentionally and on a regular basis at the same time each day. And I'm not only leading some small group and Bible studies, but I'm allowing myself to participate in some as well, so that I am not the leader of all of these. I'm praying more often and more specifically than I did before, and I am having some regular theological discussions with several different groups of people. I'm checking on family and friends more often. In fact, I'll look at my phone and I'll say, oh, it's been a while since I've called so-and-so, and that I'll let that remind me that I need to check in with them. I am also checking myself for how I might be contributing to the systems of economic and racial inequality that exist in our world today, and listening more to the needs of my neighbor. So what about you? Are there some things that need to be cleaned out or organized or recycled or tossed or reevaluated in how you live out your faith? Do you need to tighten up your acts of spiritual growth, your intentional acts, things that you do on a regular basis? Have you perhaps been missing online worship or failing to take advantage of the study and support groups that are so easily available from your local church and from beyond? It's time to take stock and clean out and organize and allow yourselves then that sabbatical rest, the empty space, to let your heart and your soul breathe and be renewed. Let's pray this morning using the lectionary scriptures today from Psalm 116, verses 1 and 2. I love you, Lord, because you hear my requests for mercy. I will call out to you as long as I live. I know you listen closely to me. Help me to listen for your voice and to listen to those who may need encouragement, advocacy, or help from me. Amen. So, go and think about what you want to reorganize in your spiritual life today. See you tomorrow. Bye.